sunshine, blue skies, marine clouds. Just a perfect day to go outside and relax. That's your forecast. We'll be right back.
Yeah, sunny days, sunny days, sunny days. No clouds in the sky, but again, away feels like it's been...
Welcome back to another episode of The Social Beaches. I'm Kelly Bowling.
I'm Carolyn Smith.
And we sell real estate on the Space Coast and down into Indian River County. So if you have any questions about real estate, the market, whatever, you can text or call us at 321-422-2160. Send us an email to hello@coastalestateteam.com or leave us a comment on whatever platform you're watching, and we'll get back to you.
We will.
So today we are going to talk about the things that they should be teaching you in school, high school, maybe, probably
Yes.
a good time to start.
Maybe even middle school.
Yeah, I mean, we could start these things in middle school for sure.
That
Rather
they're not
than-
teaching you.
Yeah, rather than the useless stuff that they do offer. I was looking at my son. He's in middle school, 8th grade
Yeah.
this year, and his requests for
Yeah.
the classes to take. You have
Yeah.
all these electives you can take.
Yeah.
Well, he asked for culinary again, which he took last year, and I'm like, is that the same or is it like a level 2? He goes, no, it's the same. I'm like, can you do that? Oh yeah, you can do that. And I'm like, well, that's stupid.
Yeah.
Yearbook. What life skill is this giving you? Maybe photography. No offense.
Or writing.
But he won't be taking the pictures.
Or writing if you like.
Maybe, but
If
he's
you-
not really much of a writer. And then it's like, how many PE classes can we take in
Yes.
1 year? So
And some kids are not good at PE.
no, I mean, he's asked for those. They have other options, obviously, but nothing real like, I don't know.
Life skills.
Life skills.
Let's talk about life skills because
Yeah.
life skills are so critical.
Right.
And you get out of high school and you haven't learned any of this stuff unless you've been taught this by
somebody.
a parent
Yeah, a parent usually.
or some other mentor. Yeah.
The biggest thing I feel like is, well, I said signing a check, meaning your signature, because
Yes.
I have a 20-year-old who was never taught cursive. It's like he was at the cutoff where like
My
his
kids
older
don't.
sibling got cursive.
There's no cursive.
He
No.
did not. And I needed him to sign for his driver's license.
Yeah.
Okay. For his actual
They
driver's
print.
license. He's like, Mom, what do I do? And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, I have to sign my name. I only can print it. And I'm like, well, can you just like pretend? And he was
Pretend you're a doctor.
pretend.
Signing
so you know
a
what he
prescription
did?
pad.
And he still does this when he signs his name. It looks like a forged signature of his father's because he used to try to forge his father's signature on his school notes.
Great.
So, and they don't have similar
Don't do
names.
this at home, children.
They have the same last name, but they don't have the same first name or even the same letters in their first name
Yeah.
at all. None of the same.
Yep.
And so I'm like, okay, that's your signature now, I guess.
Yeah.
So like signing a check, but then you said writing a check because
There's so
they don't
many,
teach you how to do that.
and there's so many people, young people, when we sell a house and we're like, you have to either wire the funds or you have to give a check for the earnest money deposit, right? And they're like, we don't have checks. Okay.
Okay.
I understand that for almost everything now you don't need a check, but you should have, I told my kids, you should have one small book of checks
Yes.
because you never know, and you should know how to fill out a check.
Yes.
And nobody knows how to do them anymore.
I've had to instruct tenants that
Yes.
were renting from people that I represented as landlords, bring me a check, personal is
Yes.
fine. He came with a blank check and he was like, okay, this is embarrassing, but I've never done this before. Can you help me? Of course, I'm happy to teach.
It's very simple, but it's something that's not taught in schools. And
No.
it's,
And it's such a basic thing.
yeah, it's part of like banking finance. Like there should be a class like banking finance. And with that, budgeting, which we've talked
like
about.
Financial literacy.
Financial, like how do you do a budget? How do you do a budget? There's programs that will do budgets for you as kids. Should they have a program that
They
does
have
it?
apps
Sign up.
now that you
yes,
can use.
an app,
Yeah.
a program that tells you, okay, when I go on the real world, I'm going to need to pay for electricity and water and potentially trash and food and gas and my car
Rent,
insurance and
all
my
the
car
things.
payment and all the things. How do you know? And how do you know how much each thing is? And fill in the blanks. And then you can see, am I going to make enough money? No, I better get a second job.
Or I need to reduce my expenses.
Don't come to mom.
This is true.
Don't come to mom. But how to do a budget? So many. I mean, I feel like, look, there's kids graduating from school who don't know how to spell,
Oh, I agree.
right?
Yes.
They don't know how to spell.
That's clearly evident. Have you ever read any descriptions in our MLS?
It's a whole nother topic. That's a good one. Yeah, Kelly sent one the other day. It was very funny.
There's some interesting
Yeah,
ones
there's
out
some
there.
good ones. But budgeting is like so critical. Why do they not teach financial literacy, some sort of financial literacy class as part of your high school requirements?
It should
Why
be
is
a
that
requirement.
not required?
It should not be an elective. It should
I don't
definitely
need
be
to,
a
I don't need
requirement.
to know how to dissect a frog. I'm sorry.
Nope, don't need
If
to
I'm
know
not
that.
into that, I'm never going to dissect
Right.
a frog. And I don't need to dissect a
And
frog.
here's the thing: if you are going to be into that, they're going to make you do it in college
Yes.
anyways. So
Yeah.
it's not like you're getting by because you took some AP bio class. If you're going to major in biology, they don't care that you have that credit. They
No.
want you to take it at their facility.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the thing is that even if, let's say, you're going to college, so in college, again, elective, you can join, my daughter joined some financing clubs and stuff like that. But if you're going to college, most parents are putting their kids on a budget. We're going to give you so much money.
Right.
They need to know how does that money last? How do I budget it to spend over the time period, whether it's
Right.
2 weeks or a month, or how
Yeah.
often do I get paid?
Right.
Whether it's money from a parent, money from a job,
Yeah.
what comes
Or
out for
is it
social,
my savings from the summer that like I have to now make
Yes.
this last until Christmas or whatever?
right?
Yeah.
Or if I want to get a loan, how does that work? If you take a loan, how does the interest
the
work?
loans are.
Yeah.
Some kids don't pay any attention at all to that. They're just
Yes.
like, oh, it's money that just pops up into my bank
That's
account.
how come we're in this mess now with people not being able to pay back their loans because they didn't understand because nobody taught them.
Right. Yeah.
Nobody taught
There is
them.
no education around when they're issuing them out. Like I
Yes.
don't feel like they give them any education. I was like, you're going to have to pay this back, and this is when you're going to have to start paying it back.
Right.
And this
Or
is how
even
much
like
it's going to
buying a
cost you.
car or leasing a car, like teaching people you're negotiating the price, whether you're buying or leasing, and you need to know what the interest rate is and any other fees. What are all these other fees they're charging you? What
Right.
can you get waived? Buying a house.
Yeah.
Want to buy your first house? What are the different programs? All this stuff should be taught really
Life
by
skill
high school,
things, yeah.
in high school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I was in high school, we had a program. This was a long time ago, but we had a program where you could do a work waiver your senior year.
Yeah.
So you could leave after the first 3 periods of the day.
Yeah.
And you could work the rest of the day. They had like a go to college, kind of like a dual enrollment too.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'll go to college next year. I'm going to work. And one of the classes we had to take as a result of that was like a businessy type class where we learned how to do a 1040 form that year to file
Taxes.
taxes. And we were assigned to do our own taxes because we were working. So we had, income. Now, whether we filed those or not, because our parents could, claim you or whatever, but you had to know how to do it. We also had to pretend like you're moving out. So you'd pick an apartment place that you wanted to live or somewhere to live, a rental, whatever.
See, this is smart.
How much money are you making?
This is smart.
You had to call around. You had to go like tour these places. And then you had to do a whole presentation in PowerPoint on this is where I'm going to live and this is how much money I make and this is what my budget is going to be. How I'm going to pay for this. It was interesting. Those are the 2 biggest projects I remember from that class. I'm sure we did other things too that were life skills. But that, again, was an elective as part of that program. It's not something that was offered to just,
To
everybody.
everyone. And it's like, to me, I don't think it should be offered. It should be a required course. As much as
like English.
English. Yeah, math.
What is English after you've taken English, some form of it,
Yeah.
every year since you was in kindergarten?
Yeah.
If you don't know it by then, maybe we could just skip that last year of
Yeah.
English. Is that necessary?
There's so many spaces for electives. Definitely this should be something they're doing.
Yeah.
How to live on your own.
Yes.
How to live on your own. Like, what happens when you rent an apartment?
Right. What do you have to do? Like
What
if
do you have
something
to
breaks,
do?
what do you do?
Yeah. Yeah. Do you have to buy furniture? How do you figure out what furniture you need? How do you figure out how much you can afford to pay for furniture? And also setting aside money for savings, like how much of what's the recommended amount? If I get this much and this much is coming out for taxes,
Right.
and this much is coming out for whatever, should I be putting money into a 401k or some sort of savings? And then what's liquid assets versus not liquid assets? And, how do I put money away so that I'm saving for a rainy day, and how much is recommended?
Yeah. I think
These
that's all
kids
good
don't know
stuff.
that stuff.
You said a good one, grocery shopping.
Yeah.
Like, how do I know what to buy?
Yeah.
Do I compare prices?
Yeah.
Couponing. The people that do like the mega couponing,
Yeah.
I want to take that class. I don't know that I have time for
I don't
that.
have time for it.
But I'm always so amazed when people like those shows where they're just coupon after coupon after coupon and they're like getting money back at the register. I'm like, and they've got like carts full of stuff. How do you do
I
it?
didn't know. So because we shop at Publix, and so we have the Publix app. I didn't know you go into the Publix app. Not only does it show you buy one, get one free, but it shows you like specials that are in there that you have to use the app to purchase with to get the special.
Oh, the digital coupon things that are in
yeah,
there?
digital
Yeah.
coupon.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Now you know.
Now I know.
Yeah.
Now you know. But yeah, I didn't know that stuff. So things like how to use coupons is, I think, super important.
And then cooking for yourself.
Yes.
So like if you grow up in a family and you watch a parent like prepare a meal for your whole family and you move out, you're by yourself, how do you scale that down so that it's enough for just one person so that you're not eating a pot of spaghetti for 3 weeks? Right. You know what I
or
mean?
how to find a recipe, whether,
Yeah.
find a recipe online or on TikTok, and how do you make it just for you
Yeah.
so that you're saving money by cooking at home.
Right.
And you're not.
There's
also,
a lot of adults I know that do not cook. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, how do you live?
But those adults that don't cook also don't necessarily cook for their kids. The kids don't learn how to cook.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, there used to be home ec programs, right? That you learned how to cook, you learned how to sew.
Yes, and they weren't mandatory when I was in school because you could get out of those. It was like a wood shop for half the year and home ec the second half, or vice versa. They'd flip-flop you unless you signed up for like chorus or band.
Yeah.
And I did not have band skills, but I could play the piano, but that was
she
not part of
could
a band.
sing.
I could not sing, but you could sit there and lip sync and pretend like you could sing. So that was what I signed up
Not
for.
that Kelly did that.
100% I did that. You don't want me singing, I promise.
But also, when you said like shop, it would be good if somebody knows how to use a screwdriver and a wrench.
I have these
and,
skills now, but
yeah.
before I didn't. Like changing a tire.
Yes.
I never did learn that
Oh,
skill.
I did. Yeah.
I chose not to. I'm like, I got a phone.
I did.
I'm
I
good.
think my dad taught me how to change a tire. But I mean, yeah, changing a tire, what do you do? Or maybe you want to pay for AAA,
Yeah.
And AAA is better than we've learned than using your
Don't
roadside.
use your insurance company roadside assistance.
Get
They will
AAA. It's
cancel you.
reasonable. We still say that, get AAA.
Yeah,
But
now I
the
know.
shop things, or for some, like I've seen, like not rented dad, but it's like these dads on TikTok and stuff for kids who don't have dads at home that teach them how do you tie a tie.
Yeah.
Like basic
They have
things.
a program here. They go to was it middle school or elementary school? It might have been 6th grade when he had this program that came to the school, and it was just for the boys.
Yeah.
Pull them aside. They all get a necktie, and they
Yeah.
are taught how to tie a tie. Now, whether they retain that,
Right.
I feel like if you don't use it,
That's
you
a
can
little
lose
young, I think.
It
to
is a little
be,
young.
Like maybe a little bit older.
But maybe they do it again. I don't know. But I know that he had that, and the necktie, it literally just like lies around the house. I'm like, can we put this away, sir?
Yeah. Yeah.
That'd be another one. How to clean your room.
Cleaning.
Washing dishes.
Honestly,
It's a skill.
teaching people how to properly clean and disinfect and,
That could go a long way. My kids definitely should sign up for that one.
yeah. I like this one that you picked about making your own appointments.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yes. So many kids, they don't use phones to call and speak to people.
Yes.
They're so used to texting or emailing or whatever. And
Yeah.
there's a
Snapchat.
TikTok. Yeah.
Do a little.
Right?
Can I Snapchat my doctor's appointment?
There's
No,
like
you
a
cannot.
TikTok channel I was following, and it's a mother and son, and he's probably 20, 21, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
And she's coaching him, sitting next to him or right behind him, on how to call to make like a dentist appointment, an eye doctor appointment. And he is so flustered. And she's like, you got it. And the first time he calls the dentist office, and she's like, tell them that you want a cleaning and that you want Melanie. I think that was the
Right.
name. And he's like, okay, yeah, I need a cleaning. And they're like, okay. And he goes, and I want it to be Melanie. And she's like, excuse me? He goes, I want it to be Melanie. And she's like, we don't have a Melanie here. And he's like, like, what the heck, Mom? She's like, oh, that was the wrong location. You know, sometimes there's multiple offices.
Yes.
He goes, okay, never mind, wrong number, bye. And he hangs up really fast. He was like, oh my God, I can't do that again. So she gets him, he calls again, it's fine.
Yes.
And then like there's another one where he's making his eye doctor appointment and he's so flustered, but she's like, you did great, you know? And sometimes your kids need that. Like,
They need that, but also keeping a calendar. I mean, that also is like something else. Like,
Yes.
have they learned how to actually keep a calendar?
to know where they
Which
got to be and
we
when.
keep our calendar
yeah.
on, Google on the phone.
Yeah.
Google Calendar, and it's like, but how to keep a calendar so that you know how to set an alert and you know how to like put your appointment in there and how much time you need and you
Right.
don't double book yourself. Like my
Yes.
son just called on the way over here and He's double booked. I have a doctor's appointment and I have work the same day. And I said, well, you'll have to call and reschedule your doctor's appointment. I mean,
yeah, that's what we have to do.
Yeah.
I've certainly overbooked myself before and then had to shuffle things around.
yeah. But learning how to do that and have the confidence, like you said, because they're not used to talking on the phone.
This is true.
Yeah.
This is
So,
true.
yeah. I think that's enough. But y'all get the
You get the
drift.
drift, yeah. It's important to learn
And
those
I don't
life
think
skills.
that we have any influence, but certainly somebody should have some influence to get the schools. I've heard of this before, other people saying this needs to be done. Why are the schools not doing this? What does it take
I'm not sure.
for schools to start doing this?
I feel like there are schools that do teach this, but they're not the public ones. They're like the ones
Yeah.
that, you know,
private or charter.
private or, yeah, that are offering these things. And we do have trade programs in our high schools.
Yeah.
They all have different programs, but it's beyond the trade, you
It's
know?
life skills.
Yeah.
It is life skills, and the kids need to learn it, and they're getting out in the world, and they have no idea what the heck they're doing.
Yeah, this is true. No common sense.
I don't know that I have common sense, but there you go.
I think that's it for today.
Yeah, that's it.
All right. Well, we'll see you next time.
Yep.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Weather forecast today.
Today's